So guys, here we have another challenge, and this is saying computing E, and you can approximate E using the following series. This one, and E is equal to 1 plus 1 over 1 factorial, and so forth until we reach I factorial. So write a program that displays E value for I, 10,000, 20,000 until 100,000. Hence, we use I factorial is I times this plus, times fourth, and then you see this is the final formula. So initialize E and item to be 1 and keep adding item to the E. And the new item is the previous item divided by I4. Okay, so how do you go about this problem? So here I'm going to write a class, and this class is going to be computing E. And then we need a main class, a main function, and then I'm going to create just like the previous. I'm going to create the values, and this value is going to be held by array. And the first I'm going to put here, I'm going to type 10,000. And then from there we are going to type the double E is equal to 1.1 as a double, and then we have double item, which is also going to be 1.1. And then we are going to write for loop, and this inside the for loop we are passing int I, which is equal to 1, and then I exclusively is less or equal to what? To 100,000. And then the last thing we put here is I plus plus the iteration, which is going to be by 1. And then inside we will say item divided by equal I. This is how we divide the iteration of every I. We use item divided by that I, and then we pick E, and then we add it to item by using this technique. And then we let's ask ourselves if there's what's the logic here. But before I do this logic, I need to write get out of this main function and create another function, which is going to be probably static. It's going to return boolean, and it's static because I want to be able to call it anywhere, especially when I'm doing testing. And I'm going to call this function is going to be contained, and I want to return int of array type, and I'll just type array as array, and then int we want the value. Okay, and then we add the curly braces here, and it's need the function. We need with the functional method we need to also do some little logic, and we have to loop in, and I'm going to use the short form of looping. So I'm going to int I array. So this is a short way of looping instead of using this way. I'm using this one, and then I'm going to choose different techniques. And if I is equal to value, what do we want to do? We want to return true. At the same time, we need to add curly braces so we have more than one statement. So we return true, and then outside of this function, we want to return what? We want to return false. Okay, and then here I'm going to check if this function contain I values and I, because this I value here is array, which is passed here of type int, and then the value is this I here. So I'm asking if that's so. So what I want to do, I want to print system.out.print line, and then I'm going to say the E is plus, get off the string, E plus E, then we add plus again, and then for E is equal to, according to our exercise, according to the exercise we got plus I. Then here I just added, just according to this, they said initialize. Here I write a program that display E value for I. So every E, the value of 100, 10,000, 20,000, and so forth until 100. So what we want to print is E. That's exactly what I'm doing here. So if I try to run this program, let's see, we get according to what we asked. So it's the outcome of E. So this is the outcome of this program we wrote here. I'm going to try to explain this program again very quickly, what I'm trying to do here. So the I value here, array, it contains the specific value of I, for which we want to display the calculated value of E. Okay, so the variable E in this item are initialized to 1.0. E will store the cumulative sum of the series and item represents the current item in the series. Okay, so a loop, as you see here, is executed from I as 1 and I as 100,000 in each iteration. So we have item is updated by divided by I, and also E is also updated by adding item to it. You see here, by adding item to it. Then we have created this separate function which we call contain. So the contain method is called to check if the current value of I exists in the I value array. You see, so if it does, the current value of E and I are printed. Okay, and then the contain method takes an array, as you see here, it takes an array and also value as a parameter. It iterates over the element of array and check if any element matches the given value. If a match is found, it returns true. That's why right here it returns true, and otherwise it returns false. So that is a little explanation about this program. So the next thing that we have to do is to write a simple unit test to see especially I can check this because the boolean, so it's easy to write a unit test because it only has two options, which is true and false. So we check if this number contains, if it's true, and then it tells us it's true if it contains on this array. So that's the simplest way you can write a unit test. And I think you can also write unit test in a more complicated way, but because I see there's no point for that because these numbers are almost the same here, and it just show for every number with these numbers here, but here actually these are the same. If you look carefully, you realize they're all the same numbers. So here, for that purpose, I think I have to create this simple unit test. So how do we start the unit test? As again, last tutorial we did something like this, and I'm going to do exactly almost the same stuff. So we are going to right click here and create a class, and this class is going to be, we have to start by writing the name of the class, which is computing e, and then you end up with test. That's how it's supposed to be. And then here we are going to write a method, and this method always has to be public void. It's going to be public void. That means it's not going to return anything, and we call it a contains because this is the method I'm going to test. If you look very careful, you realize this method I call it contains, but you can call this method any name you like. So I'm going to type this method here, and then again, the first thing, because of this method that you're going to test, it has to be annotated by, you have to annotate this method by using what? By using test. This is how you tell the test framework that you want to test this function or this method. So I'm also importing this test from the API, this API or Unit Jupyter API, and then inside here I'm going to create an array, and this array is going to, I'm going to name it as array, and it's going to be equal to, I'm going to call it an array, just array, and it should be equal to cal braces, and then we end it, and then here I want to type 10,000 to 100,000, okay, and then I'm going to what I'm going to do now here is that I'm going to test with a value that exists in the array, okay, and if that's the case, we say value, let's say value 1 is equal to how much? Let's say we put like 40,000, yes, and then here we are going to create a boolean result. Let's say 1 is equal to, we call this computing class e, and then we call that method in that class, and then we pass here array, and then here we pass the value 1, okay, and the value 1 is this one, this array is this one, so we are checking from, that's how we're checking. So this array, and this is the value 1, and we can now asset. If we asset, I can use asset equal, and then I do right here, because it's a boolean, we have to use asset true, and then inside I'm going to pass what? If you may guess, I have to pass result 1. And then from this one, we can also say we want to test with the value that doesn't exist. Okay, that exists in the array. Okay, and then what we do, we just create a random array, which is a random number, and we're going to call it value 2, and we type something that is not in this array here. So we can type anything like, let's say 27,000, and this number doesn't exist. So I'm going to use also boolean false. So for that manner, we have to create a boolean result 2, okay, because we have result 1 already, and then it's going to be the same thing. We have to use this class here, computing e. We call the method contains, and then we pass the first thing we pass here is array, and then the second is value 2 that we have created. So for that reason, we can now use the asset class, asset false, and then here we pass the result 2, okay, which has to be have s on it. And then now, if we try to run this test, we have to pass, okay, and you can see our test has passed because we have checked if these numbers are available on this array. For example, here is 40,000, it's here, so this is going to be true, and this is going to be false. But if I pass here, let's say 1, and then try to run this again, this test is going to fail, and you can see it has failed. Okay, so this is how we test to see the array if array contains or doesn't contain on this function. Thank you guys. It has been a little bit longer video, but I hope you learned something.